Volvo's got a brand new all-electric SUV, the EX60, and they're saying it's going to change everything. So is it? Let's dive in and see what all the talk is about.
Okay, before we get into the car itself, let's just think for a second. What are the biggest things that hold people back from going electric? The hesitations that pop into your head.
Yeah, it usually boils down to two big things, right? First, there's that nagging feeling. Am I going to run out of juice on a long trip? That's range anxiety. And when there's the other one, how long am I going to have to sit around waiting for this thing to charge? Well, that's exactly where Volvo is aiming with their new EX60. They say this midsize SUV was designed from the ground up to solve those very problems. And the first thing they're shouting about is the range. We're talking a massive 810 kilometers. I mean, that's the number they're putting out there for their top all-wheel drive model. Volvo's whole thing here is turning range anxiety into what they call range comfort. And with a number like that, you can see why. Okay, so what about that second big worry? Charging time. Well, get this. If you plug into a 400 kilowatt fast charger, you can add about 340 kilometers of range in just 10 minutes. Seriously, that's barely enough time to grab a coffee. We're getting really close to the speed of a regular gas station stop here. And you're not locked into just one version. They've got a few different powertrain options. There's a rear-wheel drive model that still gets you a very respectable 620 kilometers of range. Then you have a couple of all-wheel drive options, climbing all the way up to that P12 with the huge 810 kilometer range we just talked about. You can really tell how big a deal this is for Volvo just by listening to their CEO. He literally said, "With this car, we remove all remaining obstacles for going electric." I mean, that's a pretty bold statement. They're not just trying to build another EV. They're trying to eliminate all the reasons people have for not buying one. So the big question is how? How are they pulling off these numbers? It's not magic. It's some really interesting new tech. Let's get into what's actually under the skin of this thing. Everything starts with the foundation, right? The skeleton of the car. And the EX60 is built on something totally new called the SPA3 architecture. The key thing here is that it's a dedicated electric platform. It wasn't adapted from a gas car. It was designed from day one to be as efficient as possible for an EV. And this new platform is built on three really cool engineering ideas. First up is mega casting. Basically, they use one giant, high-precision aluminum part instead of like 100 smaller ones. That makes the car lighter and less complex. Second, they have cell-to-body integration. This means the battery isn't just sitting in the car. It's actually part of the car's structure, making it stronger and saving space. And finally, there's the 800-volt electrical system. That's the secret sauce that enables those incredibly fast charging speeds. But it's not just about the hardware. Volvo keeps calling this a true software-defined vehicle. What does that even mean? Well, think of it like your smartphone. The car's main functions are run by a central computer, which means Volvo can send out over-the-air updates to improve features or even add new ones. So the car you buy today could actually be better a year from now. Okay, so all that tech is impressive, but what does it mean for you, the person sitting inside? Let's take a look at the interior. Now, this is really clever. Because of that new electric platform, they've been able to do something pretty cool with the space. On the outside, the EX60 is a mid-sized SUV. But on the inside, it's got the room of a large-size SUV. You get all that extra cabin space without having a massive car to park. And once you're inside, it's exactly what you'd expect from a modern Volvo. You've got that beautiful, clean Scandinavian design with lots of natural high-end materials. Tech-wise, it's packed. There's Google's Gemini AI, so you can just talk to the car naturally. A crazy 28-speaker Bowers & Wilkins sound system with speakers in the headrests. And of course, because it's a Volvo, there's new safety tech, like a world-first multi-adaptive safety belt. All right, numbers and features are great, but what's it actually like on the road? We haven't driven it yet, but we can get some early clues from a first ride report from the folks at Autocar. One of the first things the reviewer pointed out was that there are three very different drive modes you can choose from. You've got soft for when you just want to cruise and soak up the bumps, then there's firm to tighten everything up for more responsive driving, and of course, a normal mode that sits right in the middle. But out of everything they said, my favorite description was this quote. They said the car is very well house-trained. I love that. It just perfectly captures the sense of composure and refinement, like it always knows what to do. So the big takeaway from that first impression was just how quiet and composed it feels.
Whether the road was rough or smooth, fast or slow, the car just felt solid, modern. Very little noise, just a real sense of calm control.
So where does this all land in the market? Well, let's talk price. In Europe, it's starting at about 65,000 euros. As you can see, that puts it squarely in competition with some major players, like the BMW iX3 and the Mercedes GLC Electric. And it looks like they're aiming to be very competitive on that front.
So you add it all up, the massive range, the super fast charging, all the new tech inside, and it really makes you wonder, is this it? Is the Volvo EX60 setting a whole new benchmark for what we should expect from an electric SUV?
And that's our first look at the new Volvo EX60. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.